Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So for today's video, we got Max Kellerman back at it again. This is the same man that said that he would take Andre Iguodala in a clutch shot situation over Steph Curry. He's now always saying he knew Steph Curry was going to miss the last shot of Game 6. So the reason I'm watching this, man, is because over on my Twitter account, at KrispyFlakes2K, over the past few weeks, people have been getting very offended by a statement that I've been making over there. And I've been saying that, you know, Steph Curry without Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and whatever other super team members he has is kind of like a Kemba Walker. That's not like a knockdown on Stephen Curry, and that's not a knockdown on Kemba Walker. That's simply saying that Kemba, is in a not like a so great situation over on the Charlotte Hornets. Doesn't really have a lot of talent around him, and I'm thinking, you know, if Steph Curry was over on the Charlotte Hornets, and if Kemba was over on the Warriors, then it's like, you know, Steph Curry would still be looking at, he would still be looking at as like a great player like Kemba is. But I don't think he has as much success over there, man. So, yeah, I actually got into a bit of an argument with King of the Fourth Quarter over on my Twitter account about that. It was civilized and everything. Like, you know, I love Kenny. He's a very cool guy, man, very knowledgeable. We were both articulating our points and stuff like that. And the funny thing about it, though, is, man, is that there was like a freaking double-edged sword for me. Because not only, you know, am I going up against Kenny, who has a very loyal fan base and stuff like that, like 4 times my size, my main channel. And also, you know, it's like they're going to trash on me because I'm arguing with Kenny. But also I said Stephen Curry is overrated, which was probably a poor choice of words. I should have said Kemba Walker is, I should have said that Stephen Curry would be looked at differently if he was in Kemba Walker's situation. So, yeah, just a little rant about that. We are now going to check out this video because I want to see what Max Kellerman's point of view is when it comes to Steph Curry. So, let's hear this.
This one. What? I do.
You want to start with me? Why?
I do.
Because
Not
I picked
because
the Toronto Raptors to get to the finals before the season started because I picked them in 6 games.
How many think
I got them going to the finals, not winning it, though.
Don't do that.
Wait, is that why?
No, let me tell you why. Because you did pick them to lose to Milwaukee. Stop.
Hold on.
You did do that.
But before the season started, I took them out of the East.
I understand that, though.
And then once they beat Milwaukee, I took them to win in 6 games.
All right.
What game did they win in?
Okay, all right. But you did pick them to lose
Before
to
a game.
Milwaukee.
Well, I choose not to say yes on that.
Exactly.
Guys, let's just all say it together and get it done with. Max, you were right.
Hey, there you go. I mean, let's be honest, though. If Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson was both playing, we'd be watching Game 7 this Sunday.
Sometimes when you don't
Max
do your own
was
horn,
right.
there's no music.
Max was right. All right.
Yes.
Can we start the debate now? Can I ask the question?
Sure.
Okay, thanks for hijacking that, guys. What did we learn about Steph Curry during these finals?
Let's hear it.
I didn't learn much. I knew that going into these finals. I keep telling people what it is. Like, I don't take any pleasure in saying that. Like, we're on national TV. A lot of people watch this show. You think I want to come out here and say something bad about someone?
Exactly.
The crowned hater of the
Who
year.
seems like, that's Boston. That's different. That doesn't count. Of course I want to say bad things about Boston. But, from New York. But, you think I want to say something, and especially when it's stuff like how they handle pressure.
Exactly. Like, I love Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry's fantastic. But come on, man. A victim of circumstance.
Because that
Plain and
starts
simple.
to touch on or overlap
Victim of
with what's in
circumstance.
someone's heart, their character, things like that. I don't want to touch that. About someone like Steph Curry, I don't want
Right.
to touch that. Doesn't feel good to do it, but you got to tell the
don't.
truth. If anything, if I learned anything in these finals, it's that Steph is coming along. He showed me stuff under pressure I haven't seen before. He dropped 47 when he didn't have Klay and you needed offense from him. He had maybe the best game of his career considering the circumstances.
Right, in small sample sizes, Stephen Curry is a great player. He's a great player, man, but like in small circumstances, Stephen Curry can put up big-time numbers by himself, which can, in sometimes certain circumstances, lead to victories. But also, it's going to lead to L's, like Kemba Walker.
When you won Game 5 and he hit those big threes down the stretch. So that tells me Steph is coming along. But was I surprised he took the last shot and missed it? I knew he was going to miss the last shot.
Well, I didn't know that.
I know.
He totally could have made that. I'm not going to give you that.
Remember when I said with the fate of that, the last shot's not for him. He has not shown in his career that shot is for him in the finals. Maybe he will eventually because he can shoot it. But you know what? He shot 3 from 11 from 3 last night.
That's true. I mean, like, as soon as that box and one was hit with him, bro, he got clamped up again, man. It's happened to him before. But to say you can't hit that shot is absolutely ridiculous because the game before, I mean, he made one of the big shots. Him and Klay Thompson both made a big-time 3 that put him back in that game and ultimately led the victory. So it's ridiculous to say that he cannot make that shot. That's stupid. That's a bad take.
Do you think he needed to hit some threes last night? Was that a good time to hit some threes? Or is it a good time to hit some threes when you got KD and Clay and Draymond and no one can beat you and everyone got their chest out? Then you can hit threes. But what about when your team needs it the most?
It's like it's me tweeting, man.
Andre Iguodala, fate of the universe on the line, open shot. I want Iguodala taking that shot. You know what Iguodala shot last night? 22 points to Steph's 21.
He was balling.
3 for 6 from 3 versus 3 from 11 for 3. Better field goal percentage. I'm saying he's not the player Steph is, but with the money on the line, he's better. There's some players who stay the same under pressure, some players who get worse, some players who get better. Steph has been consistently throughout his career a lesser version of himself in the finals with the money on the line. I'm not making it up, and I don't
want to say with the finals on the line. I want to say he's a lesser version of himself when he's by himself, which makes sense in any circumstance. Like, if you play with great players and then they get taken away, that's more pressure on yourself. Like, that's just how it's going to be. But you got to keep in mind that's got to be known as part of his legacy, though, where it's like, yeah, Steph Curry was a great player, man. He also had great players around him. That's not to, like, taking away from Stephen Curry. I'm just more, I'm not going to make the Kemba Walker comparison again. I'm just saying, bro, like, Kemba's a victim of circumstance, man. I've said it multiple times.
To say it, but the truth is the truth.
But numbers don't tell everything. I understand that he's 0 for 8. Get Up showed the stat this morning where he's 0 for 8 with the final shot, final 20 seconds.
Damn, is he really?
In the postseason. I said nobody in the last 20 seasons has missed more shots under that level of duress.
That was
LeBron
James.
Final seconds or
He'd
whatever the case may be. What I'm saying to you is this. It still doesn't take away from the fact that he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen. It still doesn't take away from the fact that he's a 3-time champion. It still doesn't take away from the fact that he did average 30 in these finals. I mean, it's not like he didn't show up. One of the things that I pulled up because obviously I covered, and the reason why I bring up Allen Iverson is because I covered Allen Iverson every day for the first 10 years of his career. I covered every game. When he went against the Lakers and he lost to the Lakers, he averaged 35.6 points.
Yeah, he did all he could.
He had 48 in game 1. He finished shooting 40% from the field and 28% from three-point range. What I'm trying to say is if you look at those numbers, you'll sit up there and say, volume, volume, volume. But if you watched Allen Iverson, the damn
it's the
warrior that he is, you know that don't just judge it by the numbers. And so as a result, what do we often say? What do you often say about Allen Iverson? Pound for pound, what he is.
For inch, best ever.
So in other words, you have to take into account the limitations. One of the reasons why we've judged, whether it's KD at one point in time, whether it's LeBron at another time or whatever, one of the reasons we judge them so harshly is because it's not just the skill set, but the level of physicality that they have that's to their advantage. If you are an undersized individual.
Curry don't have the physicality, though. And that's why that defense was freaking so good against him. Because, like, he couldn't, like... He could not, like, impose himself. Just like, I'm big like LeBron James, or I'm going to freaking just plow right over everybody, or be like Giannis out there. It's like, that stopped him. It did.
The level of duress that's pointing in your direction, particularly in those waning moments, are very, very difficult to overcome physically. That's why, for example, we crucify the Portland Trailblazers for drafting Sam Bowie ahead of Michael Jordan. Do you notice no one has ever said a word about Akeem Olajuwon getting drafted ahead of Michael Jordan?
Do
you know why? Because you couldn't teach 7 feet. That's why. We knew he could ball. He was ultimately ended up being a 2-time champion. The 2 titles that Akeem the Dream Olajuwon won in his career was when Michael Jordan retired from baseball to 1 full season, and then he came back the second season.
But you can't just look at height, because look at Hasheem Thabeet. Look at Greg Oden. I know Greg Oden had injury issues and stuff like that, but you can't just... That's the thing, but you got to start looking more at skill, though, because, like, Steph Curry was drafted later because he didn't have the physicality, where if teams were like looking at his skills, like, whoa, this guy Davidson, man, this guy was like balling up, they would have went with damn Johnny Flynn or Ricky Rubio over Stephen Curry. Not saying Ricky is exactly the biggest dude out there either, but
with 17 games left, you can't teach 7 feet, you can't teach size, you can't teach girth, you can't teach those things. So when I look at a guy like Steph Curry, and I look at his greatness as a shooter, I also understand his limitations. You ain't going to be Kawhi. You ain't going to be KD. You ain't going to be LeBron or Anthony.
Did he have a look at 3 because he could shoot?
He did, yeah. But I'm just saying. Yeah, all right. He missed that shot. But what I'm saying
misses that shot.
Well, again, but no, because that shot isn't always available. It was last night. But that shot isn't always available.
Have a good look.
And so all I'm trying to say to you is this. Let's pump the brakes on it. At the end of the day, we understand why the Warriors went into these NBA Finals as the reigning 2-time defending NBA champions. It was because of KD. If it wasn't for KD, they wouldn't have been the reigning two-time defending NBA champions.
That's not true. I mean, I still think, they could have won it with, Clay, Stephen, and Draymond, and whoever else they would have had in replacement of Kevin Durant, because they would have still had, like, a serviceable small forward and probably a better bench, too. So, I don't think it's solely based off KD, or else this team would have had success before Kevin Durant.
We know that Steph is great. We know that he's the greatest shooter that I've ever seen. But in a certain respect, there are certain limitations that you are going to have when you are that guy playing in a league where you got great, phenomenal players, 6'7", 6'8", and above. That's just the way it goes.
I got to ask you, great basketball minds, a couple of questions based on what you said. So basically, you feel like Steph is a front runner.
What do you mean by that?
I think Steph is not a clutch player on the level that some of the elite clutch players.
But you were like,
that's a piss poor take. It's not about being. He's clutch, man. He's clutch. But
when they're down 12 or 10, he makes the shot.
I think that's right.
When the game is close, he doesn't make the shot.
Correct. I've noticed that in the playoffs. Yeah, especially in the finals.
Who you taking? AI.
That's because when you got Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson out there, or even just Klay Thompson, when you're making comebacks like that, you're not able to put as big of pressure on Stephen Curry as you want to, right? Because they got those other great players out there, man. But when the game is on the line and Stephen Curry is taking that shot, you're able to kind of like go out there and switch up your defensive stance against him. And he's been proven that he cannot get it done against when the defense is solely focused on him. He can, man, which is difficult. It's difficult for anybody, but it's just something to be said.
Or Steph Curry.
What do you need?
I need to win tomorrow. I need to win the game in the finals.
You know who I'm going to take?
I need to win the game in the finals.
You know who I'm going to take? I'm going to take Andre Iguodala. That's what Max Kellerman said. I don't know, man. I think Stephen Curry's a great player. And I know I probably rubbed some people the wrong way with the way I've articulated that. I think he's fantastic. I don't want to use the word overrated. That's not the word. I just think Stephen Curry would be viewed differently under certain circumstances. And that's the best way I can put it without completely offending people, man. But it's just my take, guys. It's basketball, man. Show some love, guys. Come on, man. Like, we can all have different takes, and we can go out there without calling each other's clowns and stuff like that, and just, articulate our discussions. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's how it should be. It should be civilized. So, I know there's people out there that are going to disagree with me. I respect your opinion. That's just how it is. It's whatever, man.